Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Osaka, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. Before we dive into the content, I'd appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support goes a long way in helping me continue to create quality content. Also, be sure to click the notification bell to stay informed about all future uploads, so you don't miss out on any new and exciting videos. Thank you for being here, and let's get started. Today, I will be telling you a short story that I made up that I call The Forever of Summer. With that being said, let us begin. The last days of August had always filled Sarah Ann with a bittersweet sadness. The air was thick with the smell of decaying leaves, and the sun seemed to set earlier each evening. She had spent her summer in the family cabin by the lake, hoping to find some solace in the solitude. Yet, as the days wore on, the peace she had sought began to twist into a hollow loneliness. Sitting on the porch that final evening, she stared at the glassy surface of the lake. The woods beyond seemed darker than usual, as if the trees themselves were watching. It made her uneasy. She shook her head, muttering to herself, "You're just tired. Stop being paranoid." A rustling in the bushes snapped her attention back to the tree line. "Hello," she called out into the fading light, her voice shaking slightly. No response, only silence. The eerie kind that wraps around you, pressing down. She swallowed hard, then chuckled nervously. "It's probably just the raccoon," she whispered, trying to convince herself. Still, she hurried inside, bolting the door behind her. Hours later, curled up in bed with a book, Sarah Ann heard it again, footsteps on the porch. Her heart began to race. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice more steady than she felt. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then, a slow creak of the porch steps, as if someone or something was walking around the cabin. Sarah Ann clutched the blanket tight, her mind racing with wild explanations. The wind, an animal, but deep down, she knew this was different. "Stop it," she muttered to herself. "You're letting your imagination get the best of you." The next morning, Sarah Ann found symbols carved into the trees surrounding the cabin. They were crude, almost ancient. She ran her fingers over the rough marks, her stomach twisting in knots. "What the hell?" she whispered, stepping back. That afternoon, she packed her bags, anxious to leave. But as the day wore on, no one came to pick her up as planned. By dusk, worry had gnawed its way into full-blown panic. "Damn it," she muttered, pacing the living room, glancing at her phone. Still no signal. She couldn't just wait any longer. Grabbing her keys, she decided to walk to the main road and hitch a ride. Anything to get away from the eerie stillness. As she made her way through the woods, she kept telling herself she'd be fine, but the deeper she went, the more lost she felt. The shadows grew longer, the woods darker. She was sure she'd taken the right path, but nothing looked familiar. Damn it. She cursed under her breath, panic rising. This can't be happening. After what felt like hours, she stumbled onto a dirt road, relief washing over her. But as her eyes adjusted to the fading light, she froze in place. In front of her stood the cabin. No way. She spun around, her breath coming in short, panicked gasps. "I've been walking for hours. How did I?" The cabin's door was wide open, though she had locked it before she left. "That's not possible," she whispered, taking a step back. A soft, almost inaudible voice called her name. Sarah Ann. Her blood ran cold. She turned toward the voice, but there was no one there. Sarah Ann. The whisper was closer now. She stepped backward, her heart hammering in her chest. "Who's there? Show yourself," she demanded, though her voice cracked with fear. "This isn't funny. Show yourself right now, or I am calling the police." Her hands shaking as she reaches for her phone. From the shadows inside the cabin, a figure emerged, a young girl about the age of 14, with pale skin, long, black silky flowing hair, and eyes that gleamed in the darkness. She smiled, a twisted grin that chilled Sarah Ann to the bone. Sarah Ann's voice faltered. Who are you?" The young girl tilted her head, her smile never wavering. "You don't remember me?" Sarah Ann shook her head, stumbling backward. "No, I've never seen you before." The young girl took a slow step forward. "Oh, but you have. You came here to forget, didn't you?" Sarah Ann's head swam. "What are you talking about?" The young girl's grin widened, her voice a soft, eerie whisper. "You think you came here to escape, but you came here because this is where it ends. Every time." "What do you mean?" Sarah Ann's heart pounded louder in her ears. The young girl's words felt like they carried the weight of a truth she wasn't ready to face. "You've been running from this for a long time," the young girl said, stepping closer. "But you can't outrun the past, Sarah Ann. It's time to remember." Memories rushed in. A night long ago, this very cabin, the same woods, someone screaming. Blood, it all flooded back, hitting her like a wave. "No," Sarah Ann whispered, shaking her head in denial. "No, that can't be true. I didn't." No, you did," the young girl interrupted, her voice soft but sharp as a knife. "You did something terrible here, and now you're paying the price." Over and over, Sarah Ann's knees gave out, and she fell to the floor, her mind spinning. "No, please. I didn't mean to." The young girl crouched down in front of her, their faces inches apart. "You didn't mean to, but you did. And now you're stuck here, with me, forever." Sarah Ann's breath hitched. The truth sank in like a stone in her gut. Fragments of that fateful summer night played in her mind, sharper now. The screaming. She remembered the fight, the argument between her and her younger sister, Claire. Claire had begged her to stop drinking, to calm down, but Sarah Ann had been too far gone. They were both shouting, their voices like thunder in the cabin. In her rage, Sarah Ann had grabbed a lamp and thrown it across the room. The shards of glass flew everywhere. Claire had ducked, but glass from the lamp sliced into Claire's neck, causing her to bleed out and causing her to slip on the wet floor from Sarah Ann's spilled drink. She fell, her head hitting the corner of the fireplace with a sickening thud. Sarah Ann's world had shattered in that instant. She knelt by Claire, pleading for her to wake up, but it was too late. Claire was dead, panic-stricken and intoxicated. Sarah Ann fled into the woods, desperate to erase what she had done. But the guilt followed her, creeping into every moment of silence, every dark corner. She buried the memory deep, told no one, and ran from it. Every summer, she had returned to the cabin, trying to convince herself it had been an accident, a moment of madness she could forget. But Claire never let her go. Am I dead?" Sarah Ann whispered, her voice barely audible. Claire's grin faded, her expression softening. "We both are, Sarah Ann. You've been reliving this summer for years, trying to forget. But you can't. This is where it all ended for us." Sarah Ann's chest tightened. Her eyes looked over to the fireplace, seeing a picture frame still hanging on the wall just above. It was an old, slightly faded photograph, framed by the soft glow of a setting summer sun. In the photo, two sisters, Claire and Sarah Ann, stand together by a tranquil lake. Claire, with her long, wavy black hair, is wearing a light floral dress that sways gently in the summer breeze. She stands confidently, radiating warmth. Beside her, Sarah Ann, with her flowing blonde hair, smiles brightly, dressed casually in a simple summer outfit, perhaps a soft white top with denim shorts, her hand resting gently on Claire's shoulder. There's a sense of ease and happiness between them, their bond unmistakable. The background shows tall, lush trees reflected in the calm waters of the lake, bathed in the orange and pink hues of the fading daylight. This photograph feels frozen in a golden, perfect moment, capturing a time before everything changed, a snapshot of pure, innocent joy, her mind replaying the truths she had forgotten. She had fled the cabin that night, only to crash her car down the road, killing herself in a drunken blur. She had never left the cabin, never moved on. All this time, she had been trapped, trying to escape her own guilt and Claire's ghost. The room seemed to spin around her as Sarah Ann realized the horrible truth. She had been reliving her last summer, doomed to repeat the pain and guilt, bound to the place where her life and Claire's had ended. Her young sister, Claire, stood and backed into the shadows, forever 14 years old, her final words lingering in the air. It's time to remember, Sarah Ann. Summer never ends for us. Not for us. Never ends for us. Soon after, the darkness surrounded and swallowed the forever 25-year-old Sarah Ann whole. The end. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. I truly hope you found it both engaging and insightful. If you enjoyed the content, I would greatly appreciate it if you could show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Your feedback helps me continue to create valuable content for you. Be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss an update. I am Osaka, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. So until then, take care. Thank you and goodbye.